I've wanted for so long to have a line of our own power washers that we can ship straight from Chem-X.com, and that's what the X Factor system is. This allowed me to wash my Jeep in about 5 minutes, and it can wash a big rig in about 15 to 20. It's a huge time saver. It's nice to have everything just set up, ready to go, ready to rock and roll and keep stuff clean without a whole lot of setup or tear down in between. This is a hugely awesome solution for that. So I put this at the back of my wash bay because I wanted to be able to use it for trailer washouts, have a reel right on the back where people can back up to it. I can drag it right into the truck and get everything cleaned up real nice. But it's also very flexible for reaching the whole bay, doing exterior vehicle washes as well. In this video, I'll show you guys how I installed this whole thing and how we made it nice and clean, mounted to the wall and laid out nicely. So let's get into that. So the X Factors come strapped down to a pallet. The pallet would include the reel and the injector and the accessories that you're gonna need for this kit. I use a forklift to pick these things up because they are kind of heavy, but you could do this with 3 guys, 2 holding it up and 1 screwing it down. But this diamond plate here will not be included in the kit. I think it's probably best to source that from a local metal place. I think it was $100 or $200 for a full sheet, and then I cut it to this size. So I laid out all my stuff first, just to get a good look at it. Opened up my Real Deal injector here. This is the soap injector that is for touchless washing. Laying it out like this, I wasn't happy. We moved it around. I said, you know what, this layout isn't working once you really think about where the hose has got to go, and this ended up being the final layout right here. I think that worked best for my situation. So we hung up the diamond plate first, drilled the whole pattern out that we had already marked while the equipment was laying on it, and then I used Unistrut here on the back side of the wall just to really grab the wall good and through bolt the thing. It's heavy, it vibrates, you're pulling on the reel, you want to anchor this thing down like crazy. So that's what that looks like. Unistrut is available at Home Depot, Lowe's, any place like that. I popped open the whole pattern to get 3/8 bolts through. The 7.5 horse model will already be 3/8 size, but the 5 horse model is like a 5/16 hole. So with everything anchored down, we moved on to the reel, got that bolted down. But with the fair lead, the way they come with the Reelcraft reels, they're aimed at this 90-degree angle. So you loosen these 8 bolts that are on the sides, pivot the fair lead up, and then it aims in the right direction away from the wall. Super easy mod to make for this thing. So once I got this done, I mounted a hook onto the side of the fair lead. I got them on Amazon. They're just the perfect hole pattern. If you have a 1-inch stainless bolt, you can just pop the existing bolts out and the whole pattern lines up for this hook. And that gives me a great spot to hang the gun. And that's what you want. You want a home for that thing, so it's not just floating around laying on the floor. That's the directions plate, so that when you have a bunch of different users in the wash bay, they know how to use the system. It explains the 2-step process and how to get a good wash and what to do and some tips and whatnot. So this is the mounting block for the ST164 injector. This injector is super nice because it has these ratio tips that you see there on the edges of the barb. That's set to cut at 125 parts water, which means only 0.8% of what comes out of the machine is soap. It's about 10 times more efficient than a normal downstream injector, so it's awesome. I mounted those same style hooks to the diamond plate just to get the gallons off the floor, and then we threaded the hose through into the reel. You just slip it through the U-bolt, tighten it down on the swivel on the reel, and then you're good to go. Once you get the hose loaded in, though, you hold the hose against the reel like this and wind the reel backwards a few times, or maybe that's forwards, I'm not sure how to describe that, but that's how you tension the hose so that it pulls in all the way. You put your bump stop on there, and then you're ready to rock and roll. So you just set that at whatever length you want. So with that done, I finished up hanging my soaps. And look at that, beautiful. And we used a 4-foot jumper to get out of the outlet of the injector into the reel, and then we ran a 6-foot from the outlet of the machine on the top left there into the inlet of the reel, just like this. And with that in place, we threw a few P-clamps in there just to really make it nice and clean. So I put my pickup tubes on to the injector, and normally they come all installed and ready to go with a different style end. But I really like these caps. They're made by Lafferty, and they're really classy touch. It's super clean, keeps the jug sealed up. Then at that point, you want to uncork the pump, and put the normal vented cap in. I ran my power right through nice and clean so that there was no wires anywhere. And then at that point we ran some plumbing through the back of the wall in through the diamond plate so we could have a spigot that would go right into the inlet of the machine. Drilled through with a pilot bit, and that gave me a nice channel to aim at with my hole saws. This is the spigot that I used. So we ran 3/4 inch pipe to this machine. I think 1/2 inch would probably be more than enough as well. But we had 3/4 already behind the wall, so we just kept it that way. And then I threaded these holes here so I could mount the spigot real nice. And then we sweat the pipe in. So at this point I've got my garden hose, which is very long, obviously, so I trimmed that, threw an Oetiker clamp on there and a new end just so that it would be nice and clean with no extra hose. I love Oetiker clamps because they're really clean looking and they're really unlikely to leak ever. So there's that. Fired the thing up and we're ready to go. And there it is. Absolutely beautiful. I love this thing. I'm so proud to have our name on this and have a solution that is streamlined and saves a ton of time for anybody who needs to keep a bunch of stuff clean. So check them out. They're on my website now. Any questions, let me know.